Yo, what's good, YouTube? What's good? It's Stormy B Man, and I am back. This is a video editorial on a fight that's taking place tomorrow on Dazn, April 16th, from AO Arena in Manchester, England. It's the welterweight showdown between Benn and Chris Van Heerden. This fight, where the Destroyer is going up against the Heat, is the battle to move on to see if the winner can position themselves for an opportunity down the line, because we have the super fight this weekend that's taking place for welterweight supremacy between Errol Spence Jr. and your Dennis Ugas. This is going to be another roundabout for Benn, as Van Heerden has already been in the ring with the likes of Errol Spence. But Benn, who seemingly calls out veterans who are either a little bit past it, been very inactive, or maybe even on a downside of their careers. And he's been making a name for himself doing this. Many people are being very critical of Benn as he has selected to go this route. He has yet to prove himself against a contemporary, and Van Heerden is no different in this situation. With a record of 28-2 and 12 KOs, Van Heerden last fights have been against the likes of a no contest against Jaron Ennis, a unanimous decision win against Aslanbek Koziev, Mahanri Montez, and Timo Schwarzkopf. These are all fighters that nobody really knows, but his most active period was in 2019 going back. His no contest against Jaron Ennis, was in December of 2020. Benn, on the other hand, has been in with the likes of Chris Algieri in his last bout, which he had a KO victory over Algieri. Prior to that, Adrian Granados, and then prior to that, against the faded Sammy Vargas. No one is accusing Benn of being a world beater when it comes to taking on opponents. But no one can also accuse him of taking soft touches because of the names of the guys he's fought. It's just that they're not the ones that people want to see him fight. He should be in with his contemporaries, the likes of Virgil Ortiz, Butayev, Stanionis, and Ennis. Those are the names that people would like to see Benn competing against. And I'll tell you, if he is able to get in there against the likes of these men, those are the fights that people would judge him accordingly. There are rumblings that after this Van Heerden fight is when we're really going to see and hear of him challenging quality opposition. We don't know how true that is, because the way that boxing is played nowadays, a lot of times guys will do and say things, but it's basically just to feed the public. There are rumblings that Adrian Broner is back in the gym looking to possibly have another comeback fight. Broner is a name that Benn has called out. Would that be a good fight? Maybe if Broner was more active and involved in the sport of boxing. But he hasn't been that for quite some time. So Benn really needs to fight the contemporaries who are active like himself and who are stirring the pot toward challenging for a welterweight championship. And while the veterans at the top, the likes of Crawford, Spence, and Ugas, settle matters amongst themselves, it's time for that next tier to start facing off against each other. Will we see that? We're begging for it. We're crying for it. Benn isn't in a hurry, though. And I can understand why. There are a number of ways that you can hide your shortcomings in the sport of boxing. And Benn, who is 25 years old, may think that he has time to work his way around and find himself in an opportunity to challenge for a welterweight title. But with injuries and now things that we deal with, like the global pandemic and other unforeseen and unsuspected circumstances, that window can close very fast. Just ask IBF WBC welterweight champion Earl "The Truth" Spence. Just over the past couple of years, he's had some outside interference beyond his control in one instance and some parts his doing in the other that has seen his career stalled for a moment. His fight with Ugas tomorrow night is one of the fights that people want to see, because they want to see not only the return of the truth in the ring, but they want to see if he's measuring up, if he's still the same fighter due to the delays that he has found in his career. Many feel that he'll be just fine, but we really don't know until the fists start flying. So Benn really needs to look at this as a means of considering his own career. No one could tell him better than his dad if he's on the right track or not. But he's going to have to start stepping it up. There are fighters out there far better than Van Heerden who can test him. He claims he thinks he has what it takes to be a champion. And if you are going to be a champion, you're going to have to test yourself against valued contenders. You're not just going to be able to fade in and fade out with who you want. So, being favored in this fight against Van Heerden is the make of order for Benn come Saturday night. But what's on the horizon beyond that? Could there secretly be something going on where he may find himself in with Adrian Broner in the very near future? The talent that Broner has, that alone makes him not a pushover. And Benn's people are going to have to consider things when it comes down to that. Would he be willing to take on an Adrian Broner who's motivated and looking to secure a victory? We just don't know. But we would see it, wouldn't we? We would like to see it. With his record of 20-0 with 13 KOs, Conor thinks he has time. But that's the same person who's undefeated in boxing. Father Time. You just don't know. And the jury is still out on Conor Benn. With his talents, we just don't know. But we'll be tuning in to see what he has to offer. And will the Heat, Van Heerden, be motivated? We'll find out. This is Stormy B Man. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Until the next time we meet, everyone remain safe, and please tune in and see what happens. It should be fun.